Entrepreneurship, which basically means running your own business, is a buzzword amongst Kenya's youth. So young people decide to start businesses, but some of them are not aware of the pitfalls, as was clearly portrayed on the Facebook page of Sam Gishuru, who runs a company that helps other companies to grow, when he gave this personal experience, and I quote, "Another big scam in Kenya is asking youth to register companies without any training on how to handle taxes." Unknowingly, the youth go ahead and register for VAT, with new companies making below 5 million Kenya shillings. Then, by the time you realize your mistake, it's a year down the line and you owe KRA over 120,000 Kenya shillings plus interest. But what was interesting is that almost 250 young people commented on that post, giving their personal experiences. We spoke to two of them on Under 30, and this is what they had to say.
My journey in entrepreneurship has been quite a challenge. I started a business way back after high school. From the moment I registered a company, I've never been successful way to acquire those tenders. My problem with KRA PIN started in 2018 when my YACPO certificate expired and I had to renew it online. Getting to the iTax portal, I learned that my PIN was blocked, and that's when I started in February 2018. That's when I started now my journey to KRA, and I was told that I owed them over 7 million. At that moment, I felt like my world has collapsed, and at that point, I wished I could move out of this country.
The situation became more complicated when she asked the Kenya Revenue Authority to furnish her with details of those who claim to have done business with her company. She showed us that correspondence in a series of emails. Unfortunately, her efforts to resolve the situation have proven futile so far.
They give me the contacts and the email addresses of the people transacting using my business. Contacting those people, the contacts they are giving are not genuine, or that they are not going through. And all the time I keep on going back, they keep taking me routes and routes, telling me they are doing investigation, though there are those 3 people in my transactions that they identified as fraudsters. So that one leaves a question of, are we safe? If someone else can use my PIN, then what will happen to the less fortunate and those youth that are struggling to make it in life?
We have received several complaints of that nature, but the first thing is actually to investigate. I would encourage that lady to actually come back and give us that information so that we investigate. We would be able to even go to the consumer whom she's purported to have supplied to. And they will tell us exactly, because this money has been paid to some accounts. But on the other side, this is also fraud. It's a matter that should be reported to the criminal investigation as well.
In Mombasa County, 25-year-old businessman Amos Kimanzi finds himself in a similar but less complicated predicament.
Like 2 years back ago, when I decided to start a business, it was after I tried to get a job, but it wasn't really working. I came to know about my tax obligations 1 year later. So that's when I went to an accountant whom I requested to assist me in filing the VAT return to KRA, whereby after the money was withheld by the particular organization that I had done the project to. So it's when the accountant told me that I already had penalties for almost 9 months and they had been accumulating because I had not been filing my returns every month. KRA should actually abolish this type of thing, and mostly to the young people in this nation, because this is killing the morale of the young people.
So I think the best thing for him to do is to write to the commissioner explaining the situation and seeking for waiver. But he must actually prove to us that there was no business that was undertaken within that period.
It is high time that everyone checks their iTax. I think KRA focuses so much on threatening when it comes every end of the year that file your return, you'll get a penalty of 20,000. But there needs to be some sensitization at that point of registration. Before somebody actually selects VAT, then you need to be very clear in your mind.
According to KRA, companies that should register for VAT in the iTax system are established ones with turnover of at least 5 million Kenya shillings per year, while those who have turnover of less than 5 million Kenya shillings will have to contend with a turnover tax. Whatever the case, find out what tax bracket you fall into before you register a company, because ignorance might soon not be a viable defense.